Greetings to you. This is Brandon, the freight broker with Alliance Logistics, and we hope this message finds you in super health and spirit on another beautiful Monday morning that we've been blessed to see. I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and as always, we try and provide value to the time that you've chosen to spend with us, which leads me into my topic this morning. And what we're going to be discussing is some problem areas that new brokers and new agents face, and we're gonna focus in on one problem area that I've noticed. I want to share that with you, and again, as always, this is from my experience, and it's my opinion. It does not necessarily mean it's the absolute way that it has to be. It's the way that I see it, my perspective, my paradigm, so to speak. And that problem area that we're going to be discussing today is, I've had the opportunity to talk with a lot of people who've started freight broker and freight agent businesses, and those that don't or haven't moved a whole lot of freight. They call and talk about some of their issues, and what I've noticed is that they tend to spend a lot of time with carriers. And the rationale behind spending so much time talking and developing relationships with carriers is, they say that carriers are the backbone of the industry, and it's important to them to spend time so that they understand more about carriers and what they want to do. I get that. That makes sense. I understand that. Carriers, we do have to nurture and foster good relationships with our carriers. We need to know where they are. We need to know what they like doing. We need to know about their businesses. Absolutely, I agree with that. But we also need to understand that everything starts with freight. And when we're spending an excessive amount of time talking to carriers, when we don't have freight, when we don't have customers lined up, when we don't have consistent freight, then you can kind of spin your wheels. You can kind of put yourself in the position where you're spinning your wheels, because carriers are much more interested in conversation about freight that you have or freight that you're lining up, customers that you are looking to potentially get X amount of freight coming out or from. That is something that carriers would want to talk about, as to providing trucks to service your freight needs. And of course, to get their trucks covered in order to continue to make their business profitable. But spending a lot of time talking to carriers when you don't have freight, when you don't have relationships developed with shippers, to me, doesn't pass the common sense test. And the whole reason why I say that is because everything starts with freight. And if you don't have freight, we don't have anything. So don't get me wrong. I understand the importance of developing carrier relationships. That's definitely something that we have to do. But we cannot put developing carrier relationships in front of freight when everything starts with freight. And for example, several of the people that I had the good fortune of talking to, many of these people have never moved a load. They have been in business 6 months to a year, and they never moved a load. And one of the focus areas, when I ask them, what are the things that you focus on daily? And a lot of them tell me, I focus on developing carrier relationships, but they've never moved a load. So that would say that the result you're getting is not the result that you're seeking necessarily. You're seeking to move loads. You're seeking to provide a service to your shipper and to your carrier. And talking to carriers, again, is great, but again, we must have freight. And then you would even see that your carriers are willing to engage even more with you when you have freight, because everything starts with freight. Truckers can't get paid unless they have freight to move. So, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, it would serve you much better to put freight first and then develop your carrier relationships. And you may want to do that some people look at that as something that you'll do at the same time. You'll do that. You'll develop some carrier relationships and you'll develop some shipper relationships. I personally think the focus should be on freight. Freight is what moves everything. Freight is what makes your business go. Freight is what makes the carrier's business go. And what you're going to see is that when you have freight, freight is like gold in this industry. Everything you can do things with freight, but when you don't have any freight, then you're just blowing a lot of hot air when you're talking to carriers in most cases. And I guess they'll engage that for a short period of time, but after some time you'll have people that are not interested in talking to you because you're just talking. You're not putting any deals together because you don't have anything to put deals together with. And anything that I'm referencing is the everything, and that everything is freight. So I would say focus your energy and your efforts on freight. Focus your energy and efforts on your customer. And I mean, when I say your customer, we have two: your shipper customer and your carrier customer. But in this case, we're talking focusing your efforts on acquiring freight. There's a way that you should be doing that, a systematic way that you should be approaching your customers so that you can earn opportunities to move their freight. And once you have the freight, then you'll acquire carriers. Carriers are attracted to freight. So I just wanted to share that with you today, and hope that would help your business in some way if you happen to have problems in your freight broker or your freight agent business when it comes down to knowing what should come first. And again, how we see it is what comes first is freight. And with freight comes carriers. And of course, you'll still have to develop relationships even with carriers when you have freight, but it's much easier to develop those relationships when you have freight already, or you have customers set up that you're already set up with, and you get freight opportunities from that customer. Okay, so that's what we wanted to discuss with you today. Hopefully we didn't go too long. We're about the 7.5 minute mark now. So we are going to go ahead and sign off now, and we thank you so much for your time. We thank you for spending that time with us today. And as always, we wish you well in all that you endeavor to do. For those of you that are interested in the freight broker, freight agent business, go to our website, www.training.alliancelogistics.net. Again, that's www.training.alliancelogistics.net. And if you have any questions after you've visited the website in reference to business, or any questions that you just want to talk to somebody to get an answer on, give us a call. Our number is 470-427-2711, extension 101. That's Brandon, the freight broker. Again, that number is 470-427-2711, extension 101. Thanks again. You have a wonderful week. We look forward to working with you when the time is right for you.